It's Wednesday morning. We're midway through the week now. We have some great stories for you to enjoy today. Here's what's ahead.
Today, Brian Hallman visits with Mike about winter canola, a good rotational crop that complements winter wheat. Learn the impact row spacing makes and the differences between planting in a no-till versus conventional tillage environment. Then Brian talks with Jay from IGP about the current grain market. And we finish up the day at the 16th Annual Kids Field Day at Kansas State, where fourth graders from Riley and Geary counties learned about the process of growing food. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Crop News brought to you by Heritage Tractor, your full-line John Deere dealer. Visit us online at heritagetractor.com.
Mike, thanks for joining us this morning. I think the last time you and I were together, we were actually out in the middle of a field somewhere. Canola, it's really catching on as far as a winter crop. I don't know if it'll ever take over wheat here in the state as far as what's being planted in the winter, but it surely is catching on. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing with winter canola. We don't ever anticipate it ever taking over wheat as a whole, but it's definitely a crop that we can plant in rotation and complement our wheat production systems here in Kansas.
Getting a good winter stand started, what are some of the things that farmers need to understand when they go to put that in the ground?
Probably the most important thing with winter canola is getting a good stand established in the fall. That will take care of a lot of problems of just getting the crop up and going and through the winter. Planting date is really important with this crop. We have to remember that the growing point is always above the soil surface once it's emerged, so we really need a good fall growth going into the winter to get us through the winter time temperatures. So for planting date here in Kansas, we're looking at between the 1st of September and the 30th of September. That's the optimum time to be planting the crop. You guys really need to be thinking about getting it in the ground, so it's fast approaching.
Having the drought that we've had this year, canola getting into that subsoil, I mean, we need a lot of moisture in that subsoil to kind of get that started, germinating, moving on, or is this a good year to really start looking at canola?
Well, in terms of drought hardiness, I tell producers oftentimes that it's very similar to winter wheat. In general, it takes around 20 inches of precipitation or soil moisture to get a crop to maturity. The benefit of canola is that it has a taproot, and so it can mine deeper in the soil than what wheat can for moisture. Soil moisture is really critical, again, for planting canola because it is such a small seeded crop. It has to be planted very shallowly, and so with the chance of rain here we're having this weekend, we're really hoping to get some soil moisture so we're able to seed the crop.
As far as crop rotation, what someone who's a corn guy, you know, who maybe wants to put that in the spring, you know, what are the benefits of canola having that in the rotation?
Well, with canola being a winter crop here in Kansas, we see that it develops at a cooler period of the growing season. Oftentimes when we do receive rain in the fall and spring, sometimes we get more rainfall during those time periods here in Kansas, and so it's utilizing fall and winter moisture and also taking advantage of cooler temperatures. Typically, winter canola comes off about the middle of June, and so it's about that time when temperatures are getting really warm, and so we haven't had the negative effects of these really hot temperatures that we've had this past summer on the crop.
Estimate on acres you thinking coming into this year?
I would anticipate acres in Kansas being around 30 to 40,000. Very optimistic estimate, I think, but with the interest that we're seeing this year, I can't imagine it not being much less than that, and I do believe that we'll have record acres planted.
Not only that, it's once it blooms, it's a beautiful plant to have out in your field.
It is a beautiful crop, yeah. Those bright yellow flowers, you can see them from a lot of miles.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll kind of finish up.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Here in Dallas, we're proud that our vehicles use an advanced biofuel called biodiesel. It's made from renewable resources like soybean oil, canola oil, even recycled cooking oil. This year, biodiesel will displace almost 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. Our air is cleaner, our economy is stronger, and America's more energy independent. It's working here, it can work in your community. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
If your company relies on business vehicles, it all comes together with Briggs Dodge Business Link with business vehicle financing. Business Link is a no-cost membership with advantages such as extended service hours, a dedicated staff, free loaners, shuttle service, and much more. It's about more than being in business. It's about doing business better, smarter, and more efficiently. Briggs Dodge Business Link is custom made for you. Call Briggs Dodge and let them show you how Business Link can help your business.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is the best time to plant trees and shrubs for optimum plant growth next year. Always use Fertilome Root Stimulator when transplanting for better root development. Fertilome tree and shrub food should be applied now on all your existing trees and shrubs.
Our fall shrub clearance is going on now. Choose from over $20,000 in new stock and save 25, 33, up to 40% at Jackson.
Crop News brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
All right, Mike, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here on getting a good stand started. Let's talk about soil fertility. Any different?
Soil fertility requirements for canola are very similar to winter wheat. I generally tell growers that they need about 25% more nitrogen for winter canola than they do for winter wheat. So just as a rule of thumb, I say anywhere from 100 to 150 pounds of nitrogen available for the crop as a whole. And oftentimes that amount can be split either 1/3, 2/3, or half and half going into the growing season. The P and the K requirements are very similar to what winter wheat is, so it's just important that your soils aren't deficient in phosphorus and potassium. That's really critical. Another element that's really important for winter canola is sulfur. So winter canola contains a lot of sulfur-containing proteins, and so it's important to have available amounts of sulfur for the crop. And as a general rule of thumb, we say 20 to 30 pounds of available sulfur for the crop.
Any difference between no-till and conventional till?
Yeah, there are differences. And canola is a crop that we've learned a lot about planting it in no-till cropping systems, and really what it boils down to is managing the previous crop residue. And so if you plant canola in fields with minimum disturbance no-till equipment, we've seen that sometimes the winter survival isn't as good as what it is in conventional tillage. And so if you're planning to use no-till, it's really critical that you do what you can to move the residue in the seed row so that you have a bare strip of soil in that seed row to help protect the plant, because that heavy residue mat really acts like a buffer to the temperatures, and it creates colder temperatures around the plant. And so what you can do to move it out of the seed row is really important.
Well, talking about seed row, what about planting as far as seed row spacing? Is there any difference there?
As a rule of thumb, canola will yield about the same, anywhere from about 7.5 to 20-inch row spacings. We really don't see a lot of difference at those row spacings, so it really kind of boils down to what the grower's preference is. Although we are starting to see more canola planted in Kansas on 30-inch rows because a lot of farmers have row crop planters, and they like the ability to manage or to control their seed depth more accurately with the planter. And if they're seeding in no-till, it gives them the option of moving that residue out of the seed row to get a good stand.
In the last minute we've got together here, Mike, best place to get information, because you spend a lot of time working with canola. Best place to get information?
Best place to get information would probably be the K-State Research and Extension website. And if you go to the Publications tab, you can search for the Great Plains Canola Production Handbook. And you can download that off the web as a PDF, or you could go to your local county extension office and get a hard copy of the Canola Production Handbook. It's a free publication, and if there's any information about growing canola profitably in Kansas, it's included in that publication, so I'd recommend getting a hold of it.
If our local animal agriculture industry disappeared, what else would disappear? The buses that get us to school? The playgrounds and ballparks we go to after school? The books and computers that help us learn and grow? Animal agriculture provides millions of dollars in tax revenue that pay for our school improvements, that pave the foundation that will build our future. A message from U.S. soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Nobody gives you more ways to play and more reasons to stay than Prairie Band Casino and Resort. 3 great restaurants, Players Club benefits, plus an award-winning golf course. Go for it. You'll find something new and exciting every day, just north of Topeka off Highway 75.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it.
Saddle up and head on down to Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, the finest complete Western store in Northeast Kansas. Look your Western best. Select from 3,000 pairs of boots, Western home decor, and accessories. Near the corner of Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue. Open till 6 during the week, 9 to 5 on Saturday, and Sunday noon till 4. Or you can always shop online. Western people serving your Western lifestyle. Roy Fry Western Lifestyles.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
Agribusiness brought to you by SureCrop, quality liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Jay, thanks for joining us this morning. We're coming out of one of the worst droughts in the Midwest that we've seen in a long time. A lot of corn was cut for silage, wheat was cut for wheat straw. Beans maybe got some rains late and maybe they're filling some pods, but we're coming into fourth quarter. How do you see the grain market shaking out ending the year?
Well, for the moment, I think that's a good term, shaking out. It is shaking out. The market isn't an anticipatory animal, as we teach here at IGP in our short courses, meaning it's always looking forward. It's always trying to guess what's going to happen. And if you go back up until this past week, the news was rather negative because of the drought and all the problems with the crops that you mentioned. So we kind of built in into price almost a worst case scenario. And now, of course, we're in the harvest. And though it's not a great harvest, it is not worse than what was anticipated. Maybe slightly better than what was anticipated. So prices are starting to shake out. They're starting to drop. We seem to have a situation where there were a lot of longs. A lot of people had bought, gotten excited about prices with the drought. And now with the harvest coming on, we're dropping off a bit.
Well, and while you're talking about the courses here at IGP, I think one of the courses you're teaching people how to buy grain that's going on today. How do you teach someone to buy grain that makes it a win-win situation for both sides? That the farmer or the producer gets the price he needs to continue to stay in business, but the end user, the consumer, gets a price that doesn't jack up their food cost.
Well, that's the big advantage, and that is what we try to teach here, is how people can manage their price. Not just outguess the market, but how they can follow the markets and make good purchasing decisions. And also some of the tools they can use to control price. So you're right, the farmer can still get the price he wants in the marketplace for his grain, and the buyers can also, by following the market properly, by using risk management tools, protect the price on their end. So that it is definitely a win-win on both ends.
Well, we get into a situation like we did this year. Is it a win-win situation, or is someone going to get the short end of the stick with just the sure small volume of grain that was produced this year?
Well, somebody is always going to take a hit. And we can say we have record high prices, which we've had. And on one hand, that looks pretty attractive if you think about the farmer. You say farmers are getting very, very high prices. And that's true. You can also say those farmers who have half a crop are getting good prices on half a crop as opposed to a full crop. So they're taking a hit in that regard due to Mother Nature. Foreign buyers, customers, both domestic and foreign, are saying, well, prices are high for us. And that, of course, is not what they would most desire. So it's going to be a challenging year, even though we have high prices. It'll be a challenging year for farmers and for end consumers.
Well, are there other countries who were not in the situation we were in this year?
Well, the high prices, we live in a global market. So the high prices that were taken to these levels because of the U.S. drought and because of droughts in South America, in Argentina in particular, affected everybody. European prices are high, Asian prices are high. It is a global market, so this is we're not an island. The prices only affect us. Other countries did have better crops. China had better crops. Europe had pretty good crops, but prices are still high.
Well, in the long run, forward buying, is this the opportunity for people to get in and start buying forward for next year also?
It's a good opportunity for people to start thinking, what do I want to do for next year? Or what do I want to do for the next 5 or 6 months, as opposed to just the next 30 or 60 days. And this is a difficult decision time for farmers to say, what do I do? Do I lock in this price, or do I wait and hope for something higher? For buyers who say the same thing, do I lock in this price, or do I wait for something lower? And I think we have almost an equal opportunity to do either. So it makes it tough to make that decision, that call. And that's why you have to do your homework and examine some of the risk management tools that you might employ.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Here in Dallas, we're proud that our vehicles use an advanced biofuel called biodiesel. It's made from renewable resources like soybean oil, canola oil, even recycled cooking oil. This year, biodiesel will displace almost 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. Our air is cleaner, our economy is stronger, and America's more energy independent. It's working here, it can work in your community. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
If your company relies on business vehicles, it all comes together with Briggs Dodge Business Link with Business Vehicle Financing. Business Link is a no-cost membership with advantages such as extended service hours, a dedicated staff, free loaners, shuttle service, and much more. It's about more than being in business. It's about doing business better, smarter, and more efficiently. Briggs Dodge Business Link is custom made for you. Call Briggs Dodge and let them show you how Business Link can help your business.
We're raising a lot of heaven, the country parson.
Rain is one thing. A lot of rain in a short period of time is another. Hi friends, this is the Country Parson. And when there is too much rain, there's a flash flood. That type of flooding rises quickly, does its damage, and disappears just as quick. So much is uprooted and destroyed in the chaos of the water. You must get to higher ground. There can be flash floods in our living too. There are days when one thing after another piles up. You might handle it for a bit, but after a while, it all builds up. A speeding ticket on the way to work, a missed payment, a family illness, the kids get into trouble. Your life is now out of control. There are two things that can protect us. First, a real and genuine relationship with Christ. That must be priority. Secondly, having a spouse or close friend to help shoulder the load. You can't do it on your own all of the time. Is your life a flash flood? Seek some higher ground with help today. You be encouraged.
Young Farmer, brought to you by Heritage Tractor, your full-line John Deere dealer. Visit us online at heritagetractor.com.
Kansas State University agronomists are helping fourth graders learn about the processes and factors involved in producing the food they eat. More than 300 fourth graders from Riley and Geary counties attended the 16th annual Agronomy Kids Field Day at K-State. As part of the learning experience, K-State students and scientists manage stations and demonstrate the various aspects of agriculture production. In the crop garden, kids see several commonly used crops in our food supply.
Alright, you guys like hamburgers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? This is a sesame plant. These are sesame seeds that go on top of your hamburger buns.
Children then have an opportunity to see some common food products made from these very crops. They also learn about the effects of soil erosion from rainfall. K-State soil specialist Deanne Presley uses a rainfall simulator to illustrate the importance of crop residues in covering the soil to keep it from washing away. A wind tunnel also demonstrates how unprotected soil is vulnerable to erosion from wind. Children also dig in the soil pit with K-State agronomist Mickey Ransom, who teaches about the soil layers and length of plant roots.
One thing soil scientists are interested in doing would be when they're in a pit like this is they look at the soil and see how many different horizons or layers they can identify. And each one of these horizons or layers will have different properties. And what we've done is we've used a nail to mark off the bottom of each one of these different layers. Let's count how many we have. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
At other stations, kids learn about microorganisms living in the soil, various diseases that affect crops, and the influence of climate change on agriculture. They even learn about the intestinal tracts of chickens, which consume crop feeds. K-State wheat specialist Jim Schroyer believes it is important for kids today to understand where their food comes from, and he hopes the field day sparks their interest in the many fields of agriculture.
This field day is really to get our fourth graders, young folks interested in the various sciences of agriculture.
Hi, today. Get dirty. I'm going. Are we gonna get dirty?
Now let me show you how you want to dig. The best way is to take the shovel and press it in at an angle and then gently push it out so you can look at that plant root.
Good job.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Thanks for joining us today. Look for us every weekday morning at this same time. Now, to see these stories again, go to agaminkansas.com 24/7. Eric Atkinson here from K-State Research and Extension.